You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Hey, Steve G. Jones here in a car in Los Angeles traffic for the next hour and 23 minutes with my good friend who I met long ago in Los Angeles, Jason Augustus Newcomb. Hey, Jason.
Hi, Dr. Steve.
I've got him so well trained. It's awesome. So we are in a car. We're actually in a convertible rental that Jason got. It's a Beetle, those Beetle bugs, but a newer one. It's a convertible. We don't have the top down. We have the top up, but you're still going to hear a little bit of windy type noise, even in the 5 miles an hour that we can drive in this LA traffic. So that's the way it is. But we want to capture the real stuff here. So as we talk about the real stuff, we're going to talk about the idea of marketing, how you can make your website better, how you can make a website if you don't have one yet. Because Jason and I are both in self-help, and early on when I was first getting involved in the website is when I met Jason, which was the year 2000. I didn't even think I needed a website. Somebody talked me into it. Then I got a website. I mean, I already had an office in Beverly Hills, 90210. I thought, what do I need a website for? But website changed my life. It took me out of the day-to-day necessity of working, which is kind of nice. And so Jason now is married and has 3 kids, and he's also a prolific creator of content. He's got a lot of books that he's written. And name a couple of your books, Jason.
The New Hermetics, that's probably one of the bigger ones. And the other one's called The Book of Magic Power. And along with that, I've also written a book called 21st Century Mage. They all have sort of they're all actually self-help books, but they're written to a more esoteric kind of a feeling, a little bit more of a metaphysical flavor to them. But they're actually designed to help you to lead your life to the fullest. And to open up to the possibilities that are within you to be the best that you can be. I have a website too, and Steve is talking to me about my website because I am not getting nearly the traffic that he gets on his website, on my website. So we've just been talking about various ways that I could improve it. And what I wanted to ask you, Steve, was you have a particular design on your website, and you keep telling me that you do research into how to do those kinds of designs. What does that research look like?
Okay. Well, first of all, Jason's website is jasonaugustusnewcomb.com. Newcomb like Newcomb. jasonaugustusnewcomb.com. And I'm sure by the time people listening to this get to it, it'll be all redesigned and fancy. So basically what we do on my website when we do redesign it, we give it a makeover, I'd say every 2 to 3 years, because web design changes that often, and the most recent change was very important because it was to mobile. A lot of websites that haven't updated in the last 2 or 3 years are not mobile friendly. They display really oddly on mobile phones and iPads and so forth, and that's a constantly changing thing. So you have to that's been the big change recently. So if your website hasn't been updated in the last couple years, no matter what year you're listening to this, you need to update it. If you don't have a website, then you're in good shape. So first of all, when's the last time you updated your website, Jason?
My website is generated. It's all the pages. I think there might be one static page, but it's all generated by like CSS and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm constantly updating because I'm adding products and stuff, but the actual appearance has never been changed.
Oh, so the template. So just so everybody knows what we're talking about, the Jason has a CMS, content management service, I think is what the S stands for, and you're using CSS in your CMS. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, it's all. I'm not using that. Everything is done by like little boxes that I put information into, and it generates it. But yeah, it's using sort of it. Everything is generated on the fly, is what I'm saying. It's based on like you're saying, a content management system, and it's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I can change the appearance of it relatively easily just simply by choosing modify theme or whatever, like that sort of thing.
Okay, so that's something you do in a CMS, a content management system, and WordPress is great for that. A CSS is a cascading style sheet,
right? And that's what is utilized to create the different bits of it. and so the rest of it is in a database. So
Okay.
So I think that it's fairly modernly designed, but I think that the visual design of it and maybe the sitemap might be a little bit old.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Yeah, sometimes things can get clunky, like a house that was built long ago. Then you decide, oh, we need an extra room. Oh, we need to extend the den.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to build something in the attic. And then the house looks like a hodgepodge.
Right.
And then that's what happens to a lot of websites. So you have to, every 2 or 3 years, 3 at the max, you need to redo the entire site. And the last time I redid my entire site, since I'm not a programmer, one of the designs we did before this was just to get it into a content management system. That was $30,000 just to do that, to take all 500 and something pages of my website.
I mean, if I think about all the things you've spent large amounts of money on, I'm actually much wealthier than I thought.
I spent so much money on web design. I think the first few years I was in business, it was something like $70,000 on web design.
Wow.
And then that doesn't count my $30,000 redesign. Then our most recent redesign was only about $20,000, but we already had a CMS, a content management system, which is WordPress. We were just making it more mobile friendly. So the mobile facelift cost a lot too, because these are things that a designer has to get in and do page by page. Now, the beautiful thing about once you have it in a CMS, content management system, like WordPress, for example, is you can make those universal changes just by pressing a button. It changes on every page. So that's what we didn't have. We had a bunch of HTML pages before we got WordPress, and then nothing was displaying on mobile after we got WordPress, so we had to change that. So it's just this constant thing of keeping up. Now, it sounds like you're a do-it-yourself guy, and from what I know of you, you're doing all this yourself. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've saved $30,000 switching to a CMS, and then if you upgrade to mobile and you know how to do that, you're going to save yourself $20,000. So that's pretty good.
I think most WordPress themes come mobile friendly at this point. So.
Okay.
So I think that if someone's doing something from scratch now, pretty much the internet has answered the call, and almost everything is being created for that idea.
Okay. You would think that, and then then you pay your web designer to make that a reality, and then randomly you might be going through some pages and find that they've got this old code in there still, like frames, for example. Now, I'm not a programmer, but frames, for example,
that's like 2 generations back. Yeah, I actually do have a website out there that has frames.
Okay. Now, some of those things can carry over even into a CMS website. So if you're just putting something in a CMS website and not taking care of those things, then when you want to make sure things are actually mobile friendly, and if you think that the CMS took care of it, it doesn't always happen that way. So to have someone go through every page again and make sure it's all cleaned out for mobile, that's where the money comes in, because it's just very time consuming.
Sure.
So if you've already cleaned up a lot of that stuff, that's good. And for those of you who haven't, if you're hearing these high prices, you're thinking, well, just forget it. You probably don't have a 500-page website. I mean, a good website can be just 5 pages. And you can probably find someone on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, to do it for $5, or maybe it'll cost you a whole $20 or even $40 on there, but it'll still be really cheap. Or Elance, ELANCE.com, and you can find someone a lot less expensive. Now, if you do have one of these big sites, hopefully it's making big money anyway, and it doesn't really matter because it's going to be well worth it. But if you don't worry about these big prices that I'm throwing out.
Or if you're like me and you have a big site that's not making that much money, you pretty much just going to have to grin and bear it and figure it out.
Yeah, then you become a do-it-yourself. You got to rebuild the whole 1970s house from scratch. You got to drive the bulldozer,
knock all the walls down.
Yep, get a wrecking ball.
Put it back up yourself.
Exactly. Yep. That's going to be fun. So, well, you said you have 3 kids now, so maybe you can teach some of them computer programming.
That's a good idea. My daughter, my 10-year-old's probably getting close to being able to do some of that stuff.
There you go. Got to earn your keep in the Newcomb residence. There's no free lunch. So there's a McDonald's, by the way. We're looking for an exit by the way, the only thing I'll eat there is the grilled chicken sandwich when I'm traveling.
Oh, well, you know what I discovered?
What did you discover?
I mean, I like a salad because I like, and they've got pretty good lettuce there. If you're looking for a low carb option, which way do you think I should go?
I think you should go right.
If you're looking for a low carb option, you can get the grilled their Southwest chicken salad, and just say, get rid of all that Southwest stuff. Just put the lettuce.
Well, maybe we can have a live like a demonstration of that at the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Or do you want to go inside and dine?
I don't care.
I'm fine either way. It might be better to go inside because then you're not trying to eat and drive.
Okay.
And talk and
and talk and hold my GPS.
Good point.
So I guess we should put a pause on this recording.
We're going to put a pause on it, and let's bring this in for a landing. So we know where we are when we pick up. So we're talking about
website design and doing it yourself, and the necessity of being mobile friendly, and
you want to have all those things. I'll tell you what, why don't we end this podcast? It's only 10 minutes, but that's good enough, and this will get people intrigued to join the next podcast.
All right.
Which will be part 2 of mobile design, website design.
Did we
so
mention
forth.
my site or your site?
I think we did, but let's mention your site again.
JasonAugustusNewcomb.com.
Newcomb, cool. And mine's handled because at 3 points during the podcast, we actually put in my website with a nice little commercial type thing, which is actually coming up.
JasonAugustusNewcomb.com.
Just shout it from the rooftops.
JasonAugustusNewcomb.com.
Yes, I understand if you use a code there, which is Steve G. Jones, all caps, you get a 30% discount.
Off of all the downloadable stuff, yeah.
Downloadable only. I remember that from our other 4 podcasts that we've done. Okay. Are you satisfied that we've plugged your website sufficiently?
I almost.
What was it again?
No. I would want to sound desperate.
I think it was JasonAugustusNewcomb.com. There, I said it for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Part 2 is coming up.
Okay.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.